Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monday night's edition of Paranormal Question of the Day. We'll be right back after this intro. And we're back. So, today we have a very interesting discussion on hand with us today. And we have Mr. Bill Wolter from
Hi.
Broadhead, Wisconsin. And we have, of course, Taryn.
Hi.
So, how is everybody doing today?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing good. Today I had a good day.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing. I had a short day at work.
I had the day
Run,
off.
running out of products, so we go home early. So,
That's good.
Run out of product.
yeah, we get so like we're in a slow period right now. So when we get in a slow period, it's like we don't get full days of work sometimes. So
Well,
kind
that's
of kind of sucks. But anyhow, so today we're going to be talking about schools and the paranormal, and with Bill Wolter here. You want to tell people who you are and what you do and kind of how it all came into your lap.
Well, my name is Bill Wolter. I live in Belvedere, Illinois, but I decided I was in the haunted house business with a bunch of partners and we needed an indoor attraction. So we had this middle school, a 60,000 square foot middle school up in Broadhead, Wisconsin. We decided, okay, let's see what price we could get it for. And we negotiated a really good price for the building and I bought it. And for about 5 years now, I've owned it. We no longer have any more partners. It's just myself and a friend of mine. And uh, as we go through the building, things started to happen. Like we'd be working there and something to brush across your leg, or you'd hear kids running up and down the hall. You come in there by yourself, you know nobody else is in the building, and you hear little kids singing in the music room. There's just too much eerie things happening. So we decided we'd bring in a couple paranormal groups and see what happens, And every time they come in there, it's like, boom, every one of their spirit boxes start going off. Uh, the REM pods, the K2 meters, certain sections of the building are more active than others. And now, after 3 years of investigations, we're really figuring out who the spirits are, what they are. And I've been researching the history of the building going way back, and we found out we have a railroad tracks just behind the property, and found out they leveled some Indian burial mounds right behind the building.
nice.
So we've had certain groups go outside with their spirit boxes and their obelisks, and the words coming up on the obelisk they can't understand. Well, we did have a translator that came with one group that was American Indian, and he's like, well, that's our language. That's the Winnebago Indian language. So he was translating the obelisk, what they were trying to say, and it's like, get off our land.
Wow.
And it's funny that I live in Winnebago County.
Oh, there you go.
So, like, to be clear, so you bought it to turn it into a haunted attraction,
Yes, a fully haunted attraction. We've been
and then it
running.
was like, and so did you believe in the paranormal stuff?
I was a skeptic, 100% skeptic. I said, I can figure out what's making this happen. I can,
That is so awesome.
and now all of a sudden, I can't explain anything. It's like they're trying to
That's
prove.
awesome that your whole thought process of the reason for buying. Which, by the way, what was the name of the place?
Broadhead Manor.
Yeah, the building's name used to be the old Broadhead Middle School. And now, through change of use and all that stuff, we've come up with Broadhead Manor for the building.
Broadhead Manor. Okay,
And
and
the
that's
name,
Wisconsin.
Yep.
yes, the
Okay,
name of the actual haunted attraction is Terror at the Manor.
nice.
So
So I
every
like that. So now that are there rooms set up or
all the old
like that?
classroom all the old classrooms we've divided up in certain ways to make different scenes that you walk through and basically get scared. Everything like that. We have a funeral parlor, we have an autopsy room, we have a morgue, we've got a full-blown carnival that's in our cafeteria where all our clowns are hanging out and trying to scare everybody.
Oh yeah, I would skip that part.
We also, like 2 years ago,
Welcome.
2 years ago, we actually opened up our third floor for the first time. And when we opened it up, we made it a zombie apocalypse. As soon as you walk in, you have to make it through the whole third floor with zombies chasing you.
Oh no.
I couldn't do that.
We had a blast.
That would freak me out because oh no.
A lot of the kids that work with us, they are very athletic and they run, like we put up 8-foot chain link fence or 6-foot chain link fence.
And they run up them very quick.
They'll go right over it and be right behind you.
All right, back. Hold on a second.
I would totally believe it was a zombie. I would freak. I would freak out. I can go into like a real haunted place, but haunted attractions scare the shit out of me. Like I'm so scared the whole time. Like I'm so afraid.
Well, our first experiences with the paranormal, we had a full-blown haunted house going. I had a group of 10 people go into what we call our dark maze. It's a pitch black maze. There are no lights whatsoever. You're feeling your way around walls to find your way through the maze.
I couldn't do that.
You could be in there 45 minutes to an hour just in that maze.
I would be sweating. I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Well,
what's happening?
Things started to back up and we had 35, 40 people in that maze. And I've got actors that are inside there tapping the walls.
Oh no.
Right when you get next to them, you can't see them. They have infrared vision or, night cameras. So they can see you, but you can't see them.
Mm-mm.
And they tap on the walls when you get close to deter you from going that way.
My God.
Well, in the middle of about 20, 25 people being in the room, plus our 3 actors, I'm in the general line area and I hear screaming like I've never heard before. So I go running.
No, I would be like probably running right. I'd be like, I'll catch y'all at the diner. I'm out.
Well, I ran out there, and as soon as I got there, everybody's like, there's something in there. There's a glowing ball that's bouncing back and forth in the room. The energy that built up, how it was explained to me is the energy that built up in that room created the orb to appear. And one of the spirits was going across the top of the walls, back and forth across the room. And there was nobody with flashlights in there. There's nobody with phones in there. There's nothing. Mm-hmm. And nobody would go back into that room because of that.
So, like, I have a question, like owning something as you do, and a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of groups come to your place to do investigations and stuff, in your opinion, what, there are places that do are doing very well.
Yes.
Or so it seems.
Yes.
And then they decide to pull paranormal investigations from, happening at their place. I know, like Stanley Hotel being one.
Yeah.
I mean, what in your mind, doing what you're doing. So, what do you believe would be the reasoning for something like that?
Well, from my knowledge and my research back, even kids that just graduated, the building closed in 1996. It was abandoned for 20 years. The kids that graduated from 1984 to about 1996, I've had conversations with them and they said, yeah, the teachers would be in the classroom and one of the erasers would go flying off the chalkboard. Mm-hmm. There's been things in the building beforehand. I never knew this.
Right.
So it wasn't, I've had a lot of people say, oh yeah, it's haunted because you're a haunted house. And I'm like, no, that's not the reason whatsoever.
Right.
I wanted to have explained what I'm seeing by other people that are in this field. Mm-hmm. We didn't open it for profit. We didn't open it for anything, the paranormal investigations. I just wanted to have justification that I'm not going crazy.
Right.
I mean, when you hear
No, I think it's awesome what you do. Like, I think because there's not a lot of places for people as myself to be able to just go to, and even if we do have to pay money for which it goes towards the restoration of the building or whatever it goes towards.
Correct.
Like for me, that's a good thing. It's a
Right.
win-win. I get to
Mhm.
investigate an awesome place and I'm giving back, you know what I mean, for
Right.
that purpose. And there's not that many people out there that do that.
Right.
Right.
There's not that many open places for us, like, or that are, if you're not on TV, you can't get in.
Right.
No.
Well, the thing is, we had Dan Norville and Larry Eisler with Expedition Entity. They came in. Dan explained to me, he's like, other paranormal groups would love to come through this building. They'd love to see what you have going. We discovered there's about 15 entities in the building, and we've pinpointed about 7 of them with names.
So have you reached out, like you work with the Historical Society too?
Yes.
Like to validate the information that you're getting or look up stuff and everything? So
I'm constantly at the Historical Society. I'm at the local library. I'm also with the records in the state of Wisconsin, up in Madison.
And how exciting is it when you get the match?
Some of the things, I'm still learning more and more and more. Yeah. And when I get an absolute answer, it's like, okay, I got something. This is great,
right. Yeah.
I'll be right back. I gotta put my cat away.
Okay. My dog's passed out.
Why are you putting your cat away? Poor thing. But no, I think that's awesome because now my brain, I have ADD so bad. What were we just saying?
We were just talking about going to the Historical Society and
doing checks. That's gotta be like, because when you listen to like 3 or 4 hours of audio and you get that one EVP.
Oh yeah.
It's so exciting. But if you're able to have something and then correlate and validate, right. What I mean, whatever it is that your guys are finding. Have you found any cool artifacts or anything on the grounds?
I've found a few arrowheads, like everybody does. You find arrowheads around the area. We found a full axe head.
Oh, cool.
A handmade axe head.
Oh, that's cool.
We found a few like deer skulls and stuff like that were buried in the ground.
Sorry about that.
That's right. There's a few things that, like in the building itself, we haven't found anything really, just the old basic high school stuff, elementary school stuff.
Yeah. And now do you keep the items at the school or?
Yeah, I keep them at the school. If this summer we're actually taking, the building was built in 1906, the first half of the building.
What was there before, do you know?
Underneath that building is the original 1835 building. They leveled it and built the new building on top of it.
So, oh God. So there's probably
energies right there.
Yeah. I'd love to see what's under there, but I'm not tearing my floors up.
Oh my God, I would. I bet you there's like, so what was there?
The original school. Grades 1 through 12.
Wow. Yeah, there's got to be some stuff in there.
Now in the building, you got half concrete and the other half with hardwood floors, correct?
The original building from 1906 is solid wood frame on the inside. It's all brick on the outside, but it's solid wood frame on the inside and hardwood floors. Underneath the hardwood floors, they did pour concrete as a sound barrier. As you're running through the floor, you really can't hear from level to level to level.
Isn't it amazing how well they used to build things back then?
Yes. And what really bothers me is I'm trying to remodel the place.
Yeah. It's tough.
They used real 2x4s, 2 inches by 4 inches. The new 2x4s are 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I can't match anything.
Wow.
So I have to find an actual person that does rough sawn lumber to actually make those 2x4s for me to match them to what I want to build.
I can't believe you can't get 2x4s anymore.
Well, and just think of the price of wood has really gone up too with the pandemic and stuff.
Correct. And this is a solid oak building. It's not pine like they build everything out of now. So
Mm-hmm.
this building's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And
I
I've
can
had
imagine.
I've had original architects come in, people that I've known for years. They come in and they said this building will withstand a 300-mile-an-hour wind, no problem. If you want to go to 500, you might lose the roof, but you're not losing the brick.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It
Yeah.
sounds very. And then you have like heat and stuff like that in the building, or
We
no?
have nothing in the building right now.
Yeah,
Uh, I
that's
do
gonna
have
take time.
I do have electricity. We're
Mhm.
about to get the water turned on because I've proofed all the pipes throughout the building. We found out that our old boilers can never be fired up because we'll basically explode a whole city block with the pressure they have to bring it to.
Holy
So
shit!
I told them I'm not even touching those
Can't
boilers.
they can't they touch it, turn them off?
No. So basically, we're going to leave them turned off. We're not going to ever energize them.
Oh
Um,
no.
so for heating, we're doing zoned heating where we're putting a heating unit on every floor, and that's going to centralize in the halves of the building. We have the 1906 half and we have a 1936 half. The
So,
1936 half is solid concrete and steel. And most of the framework that's in there are actual bridge girders. They're the big I-beams that are under a bridge.
mm-hmm.
That's what's holding this building up.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. You got it.
Wow, that sounds awesome. So is it you find it to be warmer in the winters because of how it's built, or is it colder?
It's warm up until the end of December. The concrete holds the heat of the summer. It'll stay 60 to 65 degrees inside the building. Once you get into that January and February stage, temperatures drop fast. We get down to about 35 degrees throughout the entire building.
Do
And
you let people stay over?
yes, I do. Um, we do have overnights, and we have there's two different paranormal options. One is you can do an 8 to 10 hour hunt, or you can do an overnight, which starts in 2 in the afternoon and ends at 10 a.m. the next day. So, and
It's good times.
we do accommodate you with beds. We give you your own room to sit in. That way you can. It's not an active room. It's the only room in the whole building that's not active. So you can actually escape, recharge yourself, and come back out into the building. I
Mhm.
don't know
Safe
what's
room.
in, I don't know what's in that room to keep everything away, but it's keeping everything out now.
Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
There,
I mean, that's another form. I mean, is that the only safe room you have?
nope.
Okay.
We have
So, I
we have a
mean, where
couple.
do they usually pick up their gear and have everything sprawled out?
I let everybody set up in the gymnasium area because I've got tables set up in there for them. I've got full of, it's a big open space. So if you want to set up TVs on one table, your whatnot, and then put cameras throughout so you can monitor everything. And then I've got other tables set up where you put all your equipment. Then I've also got two big tables set up where you can come down, have snacks, do whatever you want to do. I've got refrigerators. You can refrigerate stuff.
Oh, you have a whole cafeteria.
We've got a
Pretty much, yeah.
concession area.
Yeah.
That
We,
was it.
I
The
mean, he's got
cafeteria?
microwaves. I mean, you have pizza ovens too, right?
yeah, I've got pizza ovens. I've
Pizza
got
ovens.
microwaves. I've got
Oh,
popcorn machines.
so those high school pizzas were the best.
Oh, that's
I,
the long square ones.
Yes.
I
Yes,
do. I
absolutely.
do have the original recipes that were written down that we found in the school.
Wow. I see. I wish they would bring those back where you can actually buy those in the store.
Well, you know what? I feel like Elio's is like that.
Okay. Is that more?
Oh, you don't know about Elio's?
No.
No,
Yeah, they remind me of them.
well,
Yeah.
in our gymnasium area, we at one end we have a full stage. This is where we line everybody up for our haunted house. We put back the original gym floor. We took it all out and put it all back in, board by board.
Hmm.
So we have the original gym floor in there.
Oh, that's
And then
awesome.
at the other end of the gym, we built a full concession area where we can serve food, hot and ready, fresh pizzas, nachos,
So
everything.
you did that in the gymnasium. What did you do at the cafeteria area?
The old cafeteria is where I told you we put in all the clowns. That's a carnival now.
Oh, that's a big ass room. That means that there's a lot of clowns in there.
I've got 7 active clowns, yes.
Punt,
Active?
And
What do you mean
punt.
active?
they run up and they get right in your face.
I am not going in that room ever.
Well, did you tell her about the animatronics you got in there?
Oh, we have all different kinds of animatronics. We've got a monster that stands up to 14 feet tall, and it's trigger active. So when you walk up to it, it's standing and it drops. And as it drops, it sprays blood.
Oh my god, I would freak out.
And then as you're walking past, it'll stand back up, spraying blood again.
Oh my gosh.
We used to have a Zeus. It was an 8 foot tall Zeus statue that had a lightning bolt. And as soon as you just think it's a regular statue because it's in a mausoleum looking area.
Mm-hmm.
And as you walk up to the Zeus would bring his lightning bolt down at you.
I would probably pee my pants. I'm telling you, I'm such a baby when it comes up. Although when I go to Eastern State every year, I go to their haunted attraction because they do really well.
Yeah.
And so I go there every year, and I'm the one that gets like the red X so they can take me away somewhere. So it's almost like I like sickly love being scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, what we do is
Except clowns. Clowns not
Nope.
and dolls.
we actually in our funeral parlor scene, the nurse would come in from one corner of the room and tap somebody on the shoulder and quietly pull them out of the room. In 30 seconds to a minute, she'll put you into full makeup like a zombie, and she'll hide you behind a curtain. So as your group gets up, they're so interactive, they're interacting with everything else that's going on. They don't know you're gone. So when they come into the next room, we've got the nurse in there screaming and screaming that you need to find the key, put the rubber gloves on. Everybody gets a pair of rubber gloves, and you have to search through stuff to find a key to get out of that room. Well,
so it's almost like an escape room.
Yep.
Yeah. Then the key is actually in an autopsy body under the heart, and you have to lift the heart out while it's pumping blood and pull the key out.
No.
As soon as you get
nobody's ever going to want me on their team, and I'm not going to be like, because I'm not doing any of it. I am not doing any of this. Okay.
Well, we'd let you take the key to the nurse, and as you're doing that, your friend jumps out as a full-blown zombie chasing his own friends.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
They don't even know it's their friend chasing them until they get to the next room.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then their friend gets the funny thing to go to all the different.
Hey, Patricia.
You get to go to the restaurants afterwards dressed as a zombie. From our haunted house, cool. And there's all different kinds of things we do there, and it's fun.
Absolutely.
What is Lori? I don't know.
Hey, Lori.
What does she mean? What were we talking about? She said it isn't an animal.
This one back here.
Oh, his dog back there.
No.
Or is she talking maybe about maybe I was saying animatronics. Maybe thought I was saying animal.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
The heart. Oh, this is true. This is true. It's not an animal. Maybe I always said that I was thinking about.
No. He just said the heart. Well, it's not real. It's all latex foam, and we have an actual embalming machine that's pumping blood from the embalming machine through the body we have there. That's latex foam.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, I know. I think she knows it's she knows it's fake. It's just that because I'm saying no, because I always said that I was thinking about being a nurse until I found out that you have to dissect animals. I'm like, why can't I just go and dissect a person? Like I would be
Right.
willing to do that before I would dissect a cat or whatever,
Mhm.
you know. So I'm out. So I think she's saying like it's the first thing that you thought, and I was saying no, I'm not doing that. And if it was an animal, I definitely would be out.
Right.
So, from now an experiment standpoint of the paranormal, has anyone laid on that embalming table to see if they can actually like feel a spirit that might have left its
They
presence on her?
I won't let anybody lay on the table. The table itself did come from Newcomer's funeral home right down the street from us.
Okay.
It was a 1956 table, and when we brought it in, there were tubes attached to it, and we started taking the tubes off to clean it up and get everything ready.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out there's hair in there, there's fingernails, there's
Ooh.
all kinds of stuff from other people that they've already embalmed.
Right.
We all grossed out.
Yeah, I would be too.
Well, it's different to work with fake props, and
Mhm.
then you find out you're working with real stuff. It's like, nope, not
And
doing
and,
it.
and like the hair and the nails, like you couldn't be any more like grosser particles of a body to just
There
find
probably
laying around.
there probably was, but that was the black sludge that was in there.
Oh, jeez.
But I won't let anybody climb up on the table because it is an antique.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I no.
Yeah, I'll probably
And-
just fall and break or something.
so we keep a body on there just so nobody does climb up on it. We have put spirit boxes on it, and we've gotten voices to come across, disembodied voices and stuff. We have gotten K2 readings. We've gotten
Penny?
the REM pod readings. In that room, they use what it looks like a little piano. It's a motion detection piano.
Okay.
They've set that in the room, and we do have a little girl. Her name's Elizabeth, and she does run around the building. She's a spirit. She loves running in front of that piano and setting it off all the time.
Wow. So
She-
like how did you figure out that it was the little girl? You know, like how did you guys
Our second year of haunted houses there, we've had so far 3 total haunted houses there. We
Mhm.
closed down for last year. We're going to reopen this year. COVID killed us last year.
Shit, I would have went investigated. I wouldn't have cared.
The county itself wouldn't let me have interaction amongst people, which sucked.
Yeah.
So what we decided, or how we found out about Elizabeth, was that room every year our haunted house changes. So that second year we made it a nun's room, like a demonic nun.
Right.
Mhm.
So we put a bed in there, a dresser, and we had a coffin with a porcelain doll inside the coffin that looked like a little baby.
Mhm.
No dolls.
We had it all set up. Everything was running fine. Came back a week later. The doll's laying face first on the floor with its face smashed.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, okay.
Well, I like this spirit.
We picked the doll up. All the porcelain was missing. We couldn't find the porcelain. So I picked up the coffin, and something piled it up under the coffin in a perfect pyramid style pile
Shit.
with no dust on the floor.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So that's when Dan Norville and Larry came in the first time, was to investigate that. And we found out that through a K2 or a REM pod session where you light up the green light, red, blue light, stuff like that, we questioned it, and we found out it was a girl between the ages of 7 and 10. And she pushed the doll down, and she was afraid of getting in trouble, so she piled everything back up underneath the coffin. And she was so afraid to answer our questions at first until we told her, you're not going to get in trouble. We just want to know what you did. It's okay. We'll get it fixed. It's not a big deal.
Mhm.
And she started answering our questions.
Wow.
Well, then I had another group come in about 6 months after that. which was Lost Souls in the Shadows. And as they're going through, their obelisk kept coming up with the name Elizabeth, 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 and 7 to 10 year old little girl.
Hmm. Wow. So
And
did you ever find that in any of the records, the historical records?
back in 1920, she was the only girl that we found in that age of. Her name was Elizabeth, and I can't remember her last name,
Mm-hmm.
but she was in a 1920 something record.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Great
So
confirmation too.
Yeah. And then it's easier when you go back and you investigate, at least you know you have something kind of like what my friend Mark does. Like they do research on the certain known fact of an
right,
individual that was at the place. Say that they go there with the intentions of just trying to communicate with that person. You know what I mean?
right, and
So,
we've discovered her. There was a little boy named Norman. There was another guy named Charles. We have an old janitor named Frank. We have
I mean, you can even do that with like all the stuff that like the history that you're reading about and everything, like just taking that information and using it while you're there investigating.
right. We do.
Yeah.
We say we can see you sitting at the desk, Frank. What are you doing?
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you get things to do. We can get things to move every now and then. We get a lot of brushes, a lot of tapping. Every now and then, I have a spirit I call. His name's Hay. It's not a real name. It's just what I named him because every time I'm in the building working on something, he'll sneak up behind me and he'll go, "Hey," really fast in my ear, and I turn around, there's nothing there.
Right.
And then I thought I was going crazy, but we had another paranormal group come in, and when they were sitting there, the girl, I was out investigating throughout the building with the group. They had a girl monitoring the videos. She came across the walkie-talkie, "You need to come meet me in the hallway now." And she called me out. So I came and met her in the hallway. She said, "You need to go in the gym and tell whatever it is that's coming up behind me going, hey," making that hey noise in her ear to tell it to stop because I'm freaking the blank out. And then she walked out until I started walking around telling him, "You need to stop, calm down, relax."
Yeah,
Right.
that's and he's also caught EVPs now with the Indian burial mounds being there. They have caught Indian EVPs where they had to have some come in and translate what they were.
Yeah.
So, Amy Cool, I just want to answer this really quick.
Go ahead.
She said, "This is sad to me. Why are you profiting off of these spirits who don't want you there?" Earlier in the program, earlier in the show, we were talking about it. And as we were talking about it, as investigators, when we're paying to investigate a place, that money is going back into the place to restore the building.
Absolutely.
It's for restoration and preservation of the building.
With
Unless,
Broad,
unless she's talking about the haunted attraction, I'm not sure. But
I've got proof from numerous different paranormal groups. What I do, the haunted house is there from October 1st through October 30th. Yes, we keep it set up throughout the year. Yes, we do have paranormal groups come through and investigate the building. I'm not profiting off anything paranormal whatsoever. Everything that I make goes back to fixing something in the building to keep that building standing. I mean, this building is abandoned. It is in mad disarray throughout the entire building. When you come in, you'll see it looks like an abandoned building with rooms being fixed up as it goes.
And also, I would like to also to let her know in the beginning of this, the intention of buying the building, Bill said, was not for this.
For paranormal. No.
It wasn't for paranormal. He bought the building to make it into a haunted attraction, not knowing that it was for real active.
Right.
So it wound up being for real.
And I don't profit in nowhere in any of my ads does it say the haunted house that's actually haunted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We do have on our Facebook page paranormal investigations. If you want to come find out what's in there, come find out what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
when we have ads for our haunted house, 9 times out of 10, the thing that draw people are our clowns, not the ghosts that are in the building. So I don't even mention the ghosts in the building.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that own a lot of these places. They own inns, they own museums, or they own, you have what's the one in New York that I love so much that I Rolling Hills Asylum,
Mhm.
Penhurst,
Hmm.
Eastern State. There's all these places that these people own, and the money that they, for the paranormal brings people to a location, thinking that a place is haunted. There's people that love that for so the money's always going to back into the property.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
and
You'll
I
you'll
think
you'll
that
find
the
a.
people that I know are great people
Mhm.
that own these buildings, and they do things to give back, and they do things for the spirits that are supposedly there
Mhm.
to let them know that this is, we're doing to help restore the building, and the spirits there appreciate that from
Yeah,
I
what.
absolutely. I mean, you'll find maybe a couple out there that might do a profit from it, but that's a far and few in between.
You're
You know what I'm
welcome.
saying? So, but
Yeah.
this is
See
all
now,
for a good cause, and
I I've had people argue with me, why are you disturbing them with a haunted house? I wish Nate and Mike were here from We Are Paranormal.
hmm
They'll tell you right now, if you walk into our building, most psychics, most people who can sense the spirits are in there, they'll walk through the gym doors, they'll get there. Oh, okay, we feel a little bit of energy here and there. Now, I'll tell them to leave. Just walk out the door. That's all you have to do. Close the doors down. Give me 5 minutes. I'll go in, I'll turn on the haunted house, I'll bring up all the lights, I'll make the music start, and I'll act like I'm actually going to start up the full haunted house. And then I'll have the lasers going on the gym, I'll have this music going on the stage, I'll have movie or the videos are playing, music cranked up full blast. It everything's going throughout the entire building.
And you know what? I mean, honestly, like that type of thing, might sound scary, but if for a little kid, you know what I mean? If they're, you know what I mean, some of that stuff might actually be fun.
Right.
hmm
You never know.
Well, well,
exactly.
the funny thing about it is I'll shut everything off so you have a uninterrupted paranormal session where there's no contamination whatsoever. I'll bring those psychics back in and they'll actually back themselves back out the door saying the energy is so ramped up in here right now. We're almost
Mm.
afraid to come in the building.
So then is it a bad energy?
No, it's everything is good in the building. We have found no evil, no ill
Oh, okay.
intentions.
Oh, I was just wondering why they wouldn't want to go back in. That's why I say like,
No,
It is just so ramped up that they just
it's
can't
so
take it.
ramped up.
Probably.
Their senses are way overloaded.
Hmm
So they got to wait till it calms down just a little bit to walk back in so
mhm.
they can get feelings to come back to them.
Yeah, it's almost like they would probably get like their own version of vertigo in a way.
Right. And pretty much uh, the past two or three weekends, we've had Nate and Mike up, and they can even feel the energy in the building. I mean, their meters are going insane. Everywhere they walk around, they're getting answers to all their questions.
Hmm
Um, Last Saturday night, I did the same thing. And you know how they do the flashlight test? I was telling you about this last
Yep,
night.
the flashlight game. Yep.
They did the mag lights. They turned them down to where they were almost ready to turn on, set them down on the table, and I had already amped up the building. And our little girl Elizabeth loves the color blue. So I turned around and told her, light up the blue one. Boom, the blue one lights up. I said, can you make the other one turn on? And it turns on, the blue light turns off. Well, then I said, we had another person sitting at the table, and she goes, can you turn that light so it's not flashing in my face? And she turned it towards me, the whole flashlight, and then lit it up. I'm like,
That's good.
okay, we're getting good verification here. And then every question they were saying was either yes or no questions, blue for yes, red for no. every answer coming back and forth was lighting up a different flashlight, and they were getting clarification on all their, all their questions that they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And see,
Then,
I make it tougher. I use the push button instead of the twist.
right, and we do get some responses with that, with different, other spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, she's about, like I say, between 7 and 10. She's got energy, but she doesn't have that much energy to actually push buttons and do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
She can move an object a little bit, but she can't fully roll it or something like that. So we got the flashlight sitting there to twist. That
she
was
doesn't have the right person yet,
Right.
or
Yep.
the right.
She doesn't have Patrick Swayze to show her how it goes.
Exactly. But then shortly after that session, we packed that up. We went up to our second floor and we started an Estes session. You know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. The group that I was with was 2 young men, and they started an Estes session. Well, they wanted to get me to talk to them, to talk to the spirits, because I know the answers to the questions. Why, one of them sat there in the Estes having the headphones on and the iPhone or the eyes covered. The other one was videotaping. Well, during this session, we had a bunch of garbled stuff at the beginning, couldn't get too much. And then I turned around and I go, "You're the little smartass that keeps running around that I thought we crossed over." And yes, they are. They're very respectful with ours. I go, "You're the little smartass that likes messing with me. And I thought we crossed you over." And it comes back, "Yes." And I go, "What's your name?" And he said, "Norman." And we had a spirit that Dan Norville crossed over named Norman. And he came back. And he has more energy now. So.
Well, it's probably because he knows that, somebody can hear him, or, people can hear him, he can communicate, he can, you know what I mean? So maybe that just amped his energy up a little bit more alone.
I myself thought it might be another spirit that was trying to play as Norman. So I go, "If you're really Norman, who crossed you over?" And he came out on tape or on video, and the kid says, "Dan, nah. He couldn't get out the last name. That's a pretty close.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Who else was in the room with us?" I'm the only one that knows that question because there were 3 of us in there. And he goes, "Larry," out of the blue. And I'm like, okay, it was Dan and Larry and myself. That is really good classification that, they know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
The 2 guys that were there did not know anything this happened in the building. So how would they know? How could they guess those 2 names?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a pretty good classification or clarification.
Yeah,
and I said, "One of our partners passed away. What was her name?" And clear as day, it came out, Anne. And I'm like, okay, now you're really. I had a full half an hour conversation.
Had Anne been there?
What do you mean, a spirit or?
No. Like, she
was one of our partners at one time.
Oh, okay. So she was been at the building.
Yeah, and she passed away.
Gotcha.
And the thing that's significant about that is our first investigation ever in the building, the obelisk came up, Norman, that's how we knew his name, and Norman held onto Anne's hand, and they caught a SLS of a little figure hanging onto her hand.
Wow.
So, and now she is passed, but she's not at the building from what I can get, because I can't get her name or anything to come across,
And that could take a while too, because there's sometimes spirits could take a year or so for something like that.
And you don't always have to rely on the equipment either.
Right. You could use yourself as a.
You could just listen and feel and you know what I mean, and
Oh
who
yeah,
knows, maybe she'll let you know she's there.
Hmm.
right.
Absolutely. So you had an interesting story. I think was it, um, it may have been Nate that told me this, that the gym doors flew wide open one night
We
because it was such a, and they're heavy doors.
Yes, we had a lot of energy happening in the building. I amped up the energy. We had everything going good. Nate brought his two kids up because they wanted to learn about paranormal investigation. So he said, "Okay, you can come on a ghost hunt. I know all the spirits are good here. They're not going to harm the kids." The kids went through the building, had a great time. They discovered little things. They had a little, those little light up Boo Bears where
Mm-hmm.
the hands light up and everything. The kids were getting Elizabeth to light up the hands and the feet on command.
Well, I bet even having the kids there probably
Helped
helped.
her out a lot.
Well, and helped,
Absolutely. I mean,
it
there can
made
be trigger
the
objects too.
kids feel more comfortable.
Right.
Hmm.
So when we were all getting ready to leave, we had dinner and everything that night. When we were getting ready to leave, a thunderstorm blew up. You could see the lights of the flashing lightning and all that stuff. And we all went downstairs because they wanted to get everything packed up and put away before the storm actually hit and stuff. As we're all standing in the gym, it sounded like a crash outside. It was just a loud bang of thunder. And we heard a woman's voice through a curtain right next to us.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, our two gym doors, which were closed, blew wide open, hard enough to break the brackets that stopped the doors from flying further open.
Oh
It
wow.
pulled them right out. And then about a minute later, both doors slammed shut. Just outside the door, if it was a big gust of wind, I could see if it was a big gust of wind. We
Hmm.
felt no wind go through the gym whatsoever. But if it was such a big gust of wind to blow those doors open, why, right at the edge of where those doors open, there was a little charcoal Weber grill? Why did that stay perfectly with the lid on? And okay, I figured, okay, maybe it just didn't move. It moved a little bit or something. But in the bottom of it, where all the ashes piled up, they would have blew off of it if there was that big a gust of wind.
Hmm.
And a gust
And
doesn't last for like a minute is a long time
right,
when you're in that situation. That's a long time.
yes. And it freaked out the kids so bad. I guess Nate's kids won't even come back to my building, thinking it's truly an evil building. And
Oh,
we've tried to show them that there's nothing evil, and that just happened because it happened.
Hmm.
And the kids, they 8 and 10, they don't really understand. Maybe
Right.
the steaks
Right.
aren't done yet. That's true, but we had just got done eating.
So now with the teams that all been there with We Are Paranormal and Lost Souls and other teams, have you ever encountered like a loss of sense of time, like you lost like an hour or two there? Not now we're not going to be counting like daylight savings time thing, but I'm just like the paranormal wise, like all of a sudden it's like you look at the clock, it's 1 o'clock, and the next thing you know it's like shit, it's 4 o'clock. How did we lose those
we
time hours?
we do experience that. It's not often. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Usually when people get there, I give them a full hour tour of the building, you know, showing them where the hot spots are, where it can be, different things like that, and explaining some history into the building and whatnot.
Hmm.
I give a thorough explanation of that building. Once we get done with that, I know it only takes me an hour to do the interactive walkthrough.
Hmm.
Well, as soon as we get done, I'm looking at the clock and it says, we've just done this for 3 hours. If I know it takes an hour, how does the time go to 3 hours? You know what I mean?
right.
I mean, if you might have stepped into like a portal at some point, and just the time has
Jump
passed.
forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a
And
time machine in a way, but nothing else has changed.
right. And we've also experienced that on nights that we're running the haunted house. Everybody will be like, okay, we've got 2 hours to put our makeup on and our costumes and hang out a little bit and then go to the, getting our scenes, and we'll open the doors at 7.
Mm.
Well, next thing I know, somebody's tapping me on the shoulder. You need to go open the doors. We're ready to go. And nobody's in costume or makeup yet. So where did that 2 hours go? You
Right.
know what I mean?
I mean, has that ever happened to you, Tara?
I always say time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it
that's
does
true.
happen, but it's never happened to me.
Hey, Nate.
Your
Hey,
experience.
Dave.
Temporal wormhole.
Yeah,
That could
absolutely.
be it. Yeah, it's
Could
true.
be. I mean, there's all sorts of. You got the portals. You got the call the vortexes. You got there's all sorts of different names you want to call the other side if you want to. If you could walk through it.
Well, right now we've discovered we do have 2 portals in the building.
Okay.
They do move 20 to 30 feet either way, but there are 2 full portals. And then there's the reason we say one of them's a portal for sure is we've got a trap door that goes to an old balcony system.
Okay.
That they covered up. They didn't use it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They built a floor over the top of it. They put steel in front of it, closed off the gym. Well, this balcony used to overlook the gym. If you walk up to that hole in the floor, you won't feel anything. You lift the door to that, you'll instantly have a headache. You'll feel the weight come down and almost push you to the floor, and you just start getting sick. There's so much going on right there. It literally just sucks you dry.
Well, I can understand that.
If you close that door back down, you feel just like you were when you started.
But though, I would try that before I'd go in the room with all the clowns. Just saying.
Well, I'll be there punting the clowns.
I would definitely go, and I would try to open, to test that. You know what I mean? Not saying I don't believe you, but
Right.
me, I have to,
You'd have to experience it yourself.
I would.
Nate has experienced it.
Yeah. But I would do that before going in the room with the clowns. No.
There you go.
What are you saying that's extra fun for you then? Afterwards?
What?
Go in the clown room?
I'm not going in the clown room. Okay. I will go right past that part.
I won't be led into this conversation. Because I can tell you what our clowns will do to you.
It's a nightmare. I know. I already know what they would do. They would kill me. Kill me dead.
No, they won't kill you. They'll just play with you for a while.
They would kill me. I'd pee my pants.
That would probably excite them.
I'm not even kidding. I get so scared. Oh my God.
Do we have any questions in the comments, Tara?
No.
No.
I mean, just people are just commenting, but.
Well, people are having a good time. That's what it's supposed to be.
That's good.
So,
Yeah,
go ahead.
It's 53 minutes already. Didn't even feel like it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See, it's a lot of stuff. I am so intrigued and want to go to this building so bad. I mean,
Don't you live near it?
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes away from me.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yep. I just got to find the right time to get down there, and I'm hoping towards the end of July I can get down there.
So what is the charge for like investigations? Is there a minimum amount of people or a maximum amount of people? And
you don't, if you bring a group up, good amount of people would be 8, 1 to 8 people.
Okay.
If you get up towards 12, 13, 14 people, the energy in the building seems to die down because our spirits like to hide. It's just too much interaction for them.
Well, it's almost like you need 2 days then to investigate, right? Because 60,000 square feet is a lot for 8
3
people.
full floors. It's 3 full floors.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of people tell me they only make it to the 2nd floor, and they're like, they haven't even investigated the 1st floor or the 3rd floor.
It's so true. It's so true.
People haven't investigated the 1st or the 3rd floor, and they're like, they need to come back because they just find too much on 1 floor.
Mm-hmm. I definitely would need 2 days. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Nate
Yeah.
keeps saying it's gigantic.
So,
Yeah.
um, and I apologize because I was trying to see if there's questions. I'm sorry, but did you say that there was a call? What the cost was?
The cost is up to 4 people. It's 250 for an 8 hour investigation.
Uh-huh.
I usually shoot that from 8 hours to 12 hours. I'll give you that leeway of time because I know you have to set up. I know you have to break down. I know you got to carry the cameras throughout this big ass building and set them up so you get
And it's
visual.
big. And it's
Yeah.
big.
So I'll extend the time limits. I don't care. Like I say, I'm not out to make the money. It's just everybody said, okay, you're coming up there yourself to open the building for them. You need, with gas prices the way they are, you need gas money. You're running electricity for everybody. You also have insurance. Why don't you do some charge? So I set it at $250 for the first 4 people, and it's $25 a person after that, up to 15 people. Over that, you guys aren't going to get anything. I'll tell you, you won't. I'll tell you, I can walk through the building and see where they're hiding. I can feel it. And our spirits will jump to the ceiling and watch you walk by them.
So that's not a bad price though. I mean,
No.
it's actually not a bad price. What about an overnight?
Overnight starts at 2 in the afternoon and goes till 10 a.m. the next morning. Again, if you show up there a little early, I don't care. If you leave a little later, I don't care because I'm going to sleep in the morning too. I sleep there at the building all the time by myself. It doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is there to hurt me. That runs $150 a person. You will receive a place to sleep, a bed to sleep on.
Yeah, I mean that takes out an extra charge. That's why I love going to places I can sleep at because I don't have to pay for the investigation and pay for a hotel room.
Right.
I mean,
and we have a kitchen lounge area that has microwaves, coffee machines, toasters, ice makers, sink to rinse your stuff off in. Even though we have jugs of water to rinse your stuff, it's still a full sink to rinse your stuff off. We do have camp style toilets. It's a toilet that you fill the back up with water, you flush it, but you have to bring in the water with 5-gallon buckets because we don't have any running water right now.
Right.
Which everybody seems to like. If you want to take a break throughout your investigation, go hang out in the gym. I'll turn a movie on for you. I've got 2,500 horror DVDs. I'll accommodate you the best I can. In the morning, we will also do a continental breakfast, which is usually donuts and orange juice, milk, coffee. If you want hot chocolate, I'll make you hot chocolate. There's all different kinds of stuff.
Coffee's all I need.
If you're if the temperature at night outside is going to get below 60 degrees, I'll tell you, bring a sleeping bag to get warmer. You will get cold. I do have blankets on the beds and stuff like that and pillows, but you might want a heavier blanket. I don't know what your body temperature is,
Right.
Because there's no heat in any of these rooms except for mine. And you're not sleeping with me.
Well, my wife in the wintertime, she still sleeps with the fan on, so.
Yeah. And I do have a lot of people that do that. In the summer, it's going to be extremely hot because there's no air conditioning in the building.
Yeah.
So, but the building temperature usually stays about 72 degrees all summer long.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
Not at all. And the heat rises, so as if you go up to the third floor, you're going to
If you're on the third floor, you will die of heat. Then you become one of my preps.
Do you find that one floor is more active than the other?
Yes. And it changes.
Oh.
Last year, it was always the first level. Second level, third level, we really didn't get much action. We rearranged part of the haunt. Now the second floor gets more action. The downstairs gets the second amount of action, and the third floor is still a little bit dead. Now we had they had a big Paracon in Janesville, and they brought back a bunch of people that were attending the Paracon that were vendors and stuff like that. When they came in, I've had several people say this, we have two ancient protectors that are in the building. They're elementals. We call them the tall men because if you put them on an SLS camera, their feet are floor to ceiling, they're bent over, and they wave at you from the ceiling. You'll see their full stick figure bent over against the wall.
That's creepy.
They're anywhere between 16 to 20 feet tall. And according to the psychics that have been in there, these are older than the ground around here. They're just like they're protecting that ground on the property.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a ghost Bigfoot.
It could be. You never know.
Hey,
Right.
we say that I mean, like I always say all the time, like because nobody knows what it is that we're communicating with, right? At the end of the day, I mean,
Exactly.
we don't know. So, I may see the spirit of a little girl. You may see what looks like Bigfoot.
Or I may see a bear, or I may see, different things. I may see an alien running down the hall.
Mm-hmm. And that could very well be true. I mean, it's just...
You never know.
You never know. Exactly. Unless you get that definitive evidence that you see on tape and they just show themselves on the camera.
But even still, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And even on camera, you might be seeing something, and you might be seeing something, but then all I see is like a big ball of light.
Right. It's all about interpretation.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, this is awesome. Great interview, Bill. Great interview.
So yeah, did I tell you the price? It was $150 for overnight.
Yep. Per person. Yep.
So
per person.
Yes, per person. Sorry.
Yep, and that's still. I mean,
and I'll emphasize that all proceeds do go right back into the building. It helps maintain that building. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm doing it out of my pocket, and I just live on a retirement salary. So,
right. And that's just. This is a wonderful building. Like I said, I want to get down there. I mean, Taryn, I think it would be itching to get down there too, or up over.
Yeah, but Wisconsin's like all across the world.
Across the world. It's probably about a 14-hour drive for you, probably.
Yeah.
You guys come down. If you let me know a few days in advance, I'll do like I do with Nate, and I should say 90% of the people that are there. I'll make you steaks. I'll make you hamburgers. I'll make you fresh chicken if you want. I'll give you a full dinner.
See? Good enticement right there. Steak.
I mean, they'll kick the butts to the manor. See, Nate and them came down last Friday. I cooked them all hamburgers, and then I made them all fresh popcorn, and then I turned around and had smoked salmon and all different kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
They are delish.
The guys that were there the next night, I made them big pub style pizzas and just all kinds of stuff because I was bored. And
that's right up my alley, right there. Pizza and pasta.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I'll make you all the pasta you want.
Well, this is certainly an awesome interview, and definitely we'll have you back, and maybe we can do some live stuff if we can get some stuff going with that and showcase some of the building.
If you teach me how to use the phone, I'll try to get you some live stuff throughout the building, like a walkthrough or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Absolutely.
So
you should do that though. You should, if you could ever try to figure out, like you say, you don't get Wi-Fi. You said
no, we do not have Wi-Fi at the building yet. I'm working on that, but there's a few other things that are higher priority than Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, because then you can start doing like webcams and stuff like that. Just like having nights where
everybody that's went live throughout that entire building never loses a signal.
Doesn't?
So nope.
So
I mean, they do really good with the Wi-Fi. I mean, going live on their regular phones.
Yeah, and they're using you're using your data, and that still works fine.
Right.
I mean, now with how data plans are nowadays, you're mostly unlimited as it is. So
right, unlimited data. Most of the people that do come in and do go live, they have unlimited data and they don't really care. So
right,
yeah,
right. And I was thinking about using like my built-in hotspot in my phone to set up a camera. So that's another thing I'm looking at doing. So
everybody's saying goodbye.
Yep, it's
I
getting to be
think
that
because
time.
we were going to say goodbye, but then we started talking again. That was my fault.
I could keep going for another hour if you want to. Just set
It's
me up for
always my
another night.
fault.
But well, we'll have it back for some more, and we can talk about some different stuff at that point too. So we can talk more about other hauntings and other teens that have come in from now till then. So.
Right.
So, with that, I thank you for joining us for a paranormal question of the day.
You're welcome.
And for Bill, and for Taryn, I'm Darren. You've been watching the BB3 TV network and the Paranormal Brew Network. I bid you adieu. So long, everybody.
Good night.